Good morning, solar YouTubers, and there's the start of the show. Giving you kisses. She's in a lovely mood this morning. All right, so this is Wednesday. Actually, it's Wednesday, October 1st. So it is the first of the new month. We got a couple more to go before Christmas. A couple more to go before here in Indiana, the really bad weather is going to hit. It's supposed to be a bad winter this year. It's supposed to be. So we're looking at this. We can tell that the grid came on last night, roughly at 1 o'clock. And so that's when it's charged up the batteries. And so it came on at 1:02 and it shut down roughly 2:45. So that's what, hour and 46 minutes ish. Took it to charge up the battery, and so far shows nothing there. So that little gap I just don't understand. But if we go up to here and change it from battery power to output power, let's see what that does. There we go. So that's the, so it's running about 100 amps. I mean, 100 volts. This bottom line is 100 volts. That's because my fan's on, and this is the refrigerator. So basically, the refrigerator starts at 4:09 there, and it ends at 4:39. So about what, a half an hour it runs, and 4:39 to 5:18. So you look at 4:39, 4:40, 20, about 40 minutes. It's a little bit under 40 minutes, but we round up to 40 minutes. So it's on for about half an hour, off for about 40. And so while we have this here, because it's 7 o'clock, so this is, not fully grafted yet. But the battery power, it's not showing battery power here for some reason. Battery power is dead right down through here. Bam. So I'm wondering if that battery power is, I really don't know what that battery power is. Take off the grid, and there is no solar power, so that should be dead. Yeah, there's no solar power. That is dead. So yeah, that's the battery power there. Output active. That's active output. That's not the battery. That's just the active output. So let's take. Now we got the battery power on now. Okay, and this one's showing the battery operating. So that's going up to here, up. And it's showing that's all negative. Yeah, that's all down in negative for some reason. So don't know why it's in a negative, but it does show the humps here. Oh, there it is. Okay, I figured it out now. That's minus 100. That's what it is. Okay, so these little humps are minus. So nothing's going out. Then all of a sudden, bam, everything's going out. This is what's going into the battery. I get it. Hey, this is pretty cool. You guys get to see me figure something out online. Let me figure something out in the process. That's what it is. Cool. So the battery's going to be filling up. Okay, now I get it. So that little hump is when, well, that's kind of cool. I figured that out without going to YouTube. Couldn't figure that hump out. Why is it cut down to negative? It doesn't make sense. Well, that's because the battery's been used. Battery's being drained. Now I understand. Positive and the negatives. So yep, so the battery went up and the grid went up, and when the grid shut off, the battery kicked in. And it was a constant 100. About 100 here. That's about 100. Yep. About 100 there. That's what my fan runs, about 109, 110 on high. And that's what this is doing here. Cool. Now this should be fine until solar gets out. My fan shut off. Only it's on TV. As you can tell here at 7 o'clock. So that's about it. We go to the flow chart. You can see my fridge is on right now. Battery's saying 68%. Nothing else is on. We go over here. Its battery is 150 watts. Output is 100. Battery power is 150. Output's 120. No PV charge. No kilowatt. Let's go here and take this all down. Yep. So battery's putting out 150, and the output actually going to. So you can see here, that's 146 from the battery into the device, and from the device 100. So that's about 20 watts difference, 25, going to the load. And yeah, if this was just an idle, then we would have issues. But this is not an idle. This is when it's actually being ran. And on my Red Odo 2000 watt generator, it was consuming 200 watts. So I don't know what was going from the battery to the inverter, but I know the inverter was registering 200 watts, and this is 121. So there's an 80 watts difference. So I don't know if and then you look at this one, it's yeah. So it drew more from. So I was just remembering my monitors. So my monitor because I had a shunt on both batteries. And the shunt on both batteries registered 200 coming out watts. In the inverter, its display showed 200 watts. But this one here is showing 146, 121. So this is using roughly 45 25 watts to run. And so if everything is right, so I don't know what the other calculation is. I didn't have this kind of. I did, but I didn't pay attention to it. So you can tell here, that's 150, 146. That's close. 120. That's close. So yeah. So there's about 25 watts of being consumed during this. Now when this is off, when the load is off, I don't have a consumption. So. All right, guys, so that's about it this morning. My bacon's done. Cat's going to sleep. And so, for those guys who are new here, my house is always dark. I don't use grid lights. I don't use, light bulbs in the ceiling or the lamp. So I have this little Harbor Freight. It's a nice little, well, you can't see it. It's a different veins you can set for different brightnesses, but as you can tell, it lights up the kitchen really nice. So that's what I use for lights there. And you go in my bedroom off the kitchen, it's pretty dark in here. I don't use, you can't see it, I don't use lights, but I do use another Harbor Freight tool, and that lights up the bedroom just enough so that I can get my stuff done. So when power goes out in my house, I have lights. I got probably about 25 different flashlights in my house. I have a lantern in here. I have the EB3A if I need it. For those who don't know about the EB3A, EB3A is awesome. Let me try to find this button here real quick. EB3A has its own little light, and it goes through different brightnesses, flashing, and it's off. So the EB3A has its own little light, so that's about it. I'm having bacons in there now. I'm having scrambled eggs. So every morning I have 5 pieces of bacon, 4 to 6 scrambled eggs, 4 pieces of sausage, and maybe ham if I don't think ham today. I literally had a heart attack about 14 months ago, and my sugar was my A1C was 15.9. It should be 4.7 to 5.7. Mine was 15.9. At the night of my heart attack, they took my sugar and stuff. It was my sugar was 490, and they told me I'd be a diabetic for the rest of my life. And I went in Tuesday night, and so Wednesday afternoon, about 3, 2, 3, 4, somewhere in there, I had a artery was 100% blocked. So they had to go in and put a stent in. No heart damage. I had another one that's like 40, but they didn't worry about that. But from all that time, I didn't sleep at all for about 3 days. I didn't sleep at all. And I was released Thursday about 3 in the afternoon. It was like 5 in the afternoon. I was released Thursday. And then I was back to work Friday morning at 7. I was up at 7, back to work at 8. Because I don't have insurance. I have to work. If I don't work, I have no money. And then I had to work Saturday to make up for Thursday. So that was hilarious. And then I worked Sunday. Yeah, I had to work over the weekend to make up the 2 days that I lost. Oh well, so they told me I'd be a diabetic for the rest of my life. I did the research, found out that diabetes is not hereditary. That means my battery is draining. Yeah, so they told me that diabetes is not hereditary. Diabetes is not genetic. Diabetes type 2, that is. This type 2 is literally, that's my other saver. Type 2 diabetes is nothing but I got this light here, I forgot. Is it not working? It's probably dead too. Type 2 diabetes is nothing but a eating disorder. That's type 2. So what type 2 diabetes basically is you got too much carbs in your system, too much sugar, and your body doesn't know how to, we're just trying to get rid of it, but it can't. So your body gets rid of sugar in 2 ways. First, it tries to put it into your cells, see if your cells accept any sugar, any energy, and if your cells does not accept any extra sugar, then it stores it as fat. And some people like me, it never stored it as fat. It just accumulated in my bloodstream. And so then that's when your body produces insulin, try to get it out of your bloodstream, but mine was so high, they just couldn't get rid of it fast enough. So your sugar level just builds up. Next thing you know, you're so-called, diabetic. So in 14 months, I've had no units of insulin, no pills, no medicine for my diabetes. I was on high blood pressure, high cholesterol. After a month, I just quit the high cholesterol. I was on blood thinners too for the stent, so I stayed on those until I was out. But the high blood pressure, high cholesterol, I have my own blood pressure monitor. Since I started, I eat what's called a carnivore diet for the most part. Every once in a while, I'll put some fruits and vegetables in my diet. I mainly every day do not eat fruits and vegetables. I don't eat breads, grains, nuts. I eat none of that stuff. Now, what I do now is I do eat peanut butter. I found peanut butter that was no sugar. It's only 4 carbs for 2 tablespoons. I do eat that. I eat 2 tablespoons a day. So I have, about 4 carbs I take in. I do eat, every once in a while, I might put some green peppers and onions, into a omelet or on top of a hamburger. When I make my hamburger every night, I do have 3 hamburger patties every night with no bread, just cheese. That's it. My snacks are, you go down to Sam's Club. We have a Sam's, and you get these great big things of pork rinds. No carbs. Let's see if we can get it here. Yeah, no carbs on the pork rinds. So that's a snack. Pork rinds is good. Krakens ain't too bad. So I pretty much eat no carbs throughout the day. Now I do have a piece of candy occasionally here and there. I do have a donut here and there. Like last week, I overexpended my calories, my carbs. I had a pizza. I had 1 slice of pizza a couple of days a week. A couple of times last week, I did go to McDonald's and order me 2 cheeseburgers, a small fry, and a small sugar-free pop. So that was a lot of calories. That was like 500 calories there. 500 carbs there in that meal. My youngest one is a manager at Taco Bell. I go in there every once in a while to see her and give her a hug and stuff. So I order some food. So I had like 6 tacos and a Mexican pizza. So last week I had a lot of carbs, and my body got rid of it. It wasn't in my bloodstream. But I did gain some weight. I did gain about 6 pounds. So therefore, it went to the fat, and that's a good thing. If it goes into your cells or into your fat, it's good. A person could be 600 pounds and not a diabetic. A person could be 150 pounds and be a diabetic. Okay, my load just shut off here. Battery's at 71%. And see, there's no active, nothing. So, all right, so quick, whatever. So my breakfast is pretty much the same every morning. My sugar this morning was 122. That's because of Dawn effect. So, yeah, that's not cutting it. That light's not bright enough. So, I don't do this very often, guys, but there we go. Kitchen lights on. I do not use lights very often. Both of my lights are out. Maybe I can do this here. Hold on. I do have a flashlight here. I really hate using... Oh, that's going to work perfectly. So it's just a flashlight. I hate using lights in the kitchen, in the house. Oh, there we go. That's cool enough. That's going to be charged too. So, all right, guys, I'm off of here. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you this evening. Have a great day.